Greetings everybody, I'm Lobo and welcome to Luna. This is episode 139 of my Minecraft survival series, and today, well, something went wrong with this thing after last episode. I came back in here, it was turned off, the room was all smoky. I think I have it fixed now. I didn't have any hammers or screwdrivers or wrenches available, so I threw a pickaxe and a shovel at it. So I think maybe we're good, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. This thing just needs to be running by next episode. That's when we need it. This thing absolutely needs to be running next episode. But talking about this episode, what we're going to be doing is finishing up the exterior of Ender Island here, and that's why I've decided to call this place Ender Island, the island where our end portal is. Now, I think the first thing we need to do is actually move our little, I don't know, rest area, our little workstation right here, outside somewhere else, because this was just a temporary solution from last episode. I think I want to put it maybe like over here or something, just kind of out of the way. And you know, this has to be finished next episode. So between this episode and next episode, we don't have a whole lot of time because, of course, next episode, episode 140, we are entering the end portal. We are venturing into the unknown, and what happens after that, well, it's anybody's guess, really. So I guess we better get started. I think that should be enough room for a little storage, a little bed area. Yeah, that's plenty of room. I mean, we could build this as big or as little as we want because it's all going to be in the island. I know that doesn't make sense right now. I'll kind of explain a little bit more once I'm able to show you what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of prep work to do. I need to light up this place so that way we don't get attacked while we're trying to build out here. Woo! So we don't get attacked while we're trying to build out here because we're going to be spending the majority of this episode outside. And this island is actually much bigger than I thought it was. It's a little bit bigger than I've registered being. So hopefully we're able to get it done before we enter the portal. Because that's happening next episode, whether we're done or not. Another thing we need to do to prepare is get all our supplies together. All our resources that we're going to be putting into this island, they need to come together now. So I know that we're going to need a bunch of green stuff. I know we're going to need some sea lanterns as well. So we'll have to make a couple stops. I think I probably want to go to Luna first. Then we'll go to the Guardian Farm. We'll go to, yeah, let me put the shopping list together. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. All right, so I am still doing the back and forth, but I thought since I was back here, I'd go ahead and talk you guys through what I'm planning to do here in order to help me kind of figure out what all we're going to need for this. So over here, this building houses our dimensional stabilizer, a potentially world-ending device that I feel like the guys at Wolfen's laboratory would want to keep hidden from the world. That doesn't mean a high security area. What that means is we're going to pretend like there's nothing here at all. And you are not here at all either. And you, oh, you guys only spawn near villages. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying indeed? Yeah, we're going to pretend like it's not here at all, which means that we're going to bury everything inside the landscape, you know? So, I mean, between here and Luna, we have these various mountainous islands right here, and if we have one more, I don't think that's going to look too out of place. So this will be a very mountainous island with the stuff built into it. So you can kind of think of it as like a secret volcano lair, except for it's not a volcano, and it's also not a lair. But I think I have the majority of our supplies ready to go. I think we got everything from down here at the stronghold. I think I got everything I need from Luna and from the Guardian Farm. I think we are ready to actually get around to this build and start planning it out, start planning out what we're doing here. You know, all these bad noises down here. So I'm happy to get out of this area now, at least. Hopefully things are a little bit better on the surface, at least during the daytime. But let's go ahead and start planning everything out. Well, that didn't sound good. Oh, and it looks like we got a bit of smoke rising from the machine again. This dimensional stabilizer, it's the worst dimensional stabilizer I've ever seen, I swear. This thing just keeps breaking down on us, which is not great when it gets deployed next episode and the fate of our world depends on it. So hopefully that works a little better for us. Maybe some duct tape will hold this machine together. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. All right, but as I said, we don't have a whole lot of time, so now it is time to get to work. And the first thing I've been thinking about is our entrance to the actual Ender Island base, laboratory, whatever it is. So I was thinking that the doorway, the entrance, that's going to be the really only thing that sets this place apart from any other island out here, you know? That's going to be the only thing that looks man-made. Now, the doorway is not just going to be a big diagonal pillar. That's not a doorway. I'm going to work on that a little bit. But I do know it's going to lead into this corridor that gives us access to all our stuff, you know? So basically, our storage room beds, the dimensional stabilizer itself, yeah, that all has to be accessed by this doorway. Which, as I said, I still need to figure out. Give me a few minutes here. All right, so I think I do at this point have an idea for the door. So it's not going to look like this, you know, we're going to have it be piston operated. So we're going to have some pistons behind it here, which means it's not going to be at this angle. It's going to be kind of more outward, I guess. And as far as how big the door is going to be, it's not going to be like, you know, huge. It's going to be, well, I mean, the door itself is going to be pretty big. It's going to actually look pretty big, but the openable area, I guess I really only need to be big enough for me to actually kind of walk through it. So it's going to look bigger than the door actually is, but the way I'm envisioning this is going to involve a lot of redstone because I figured out what I want to make it look like. So I was kind of thinking about doors, like man-made doors in a natural environment, looking kind of out of place. And all of a sudden it struck me, like a galloping grazer, it struck me, the inspiration for this. So if you can guess the inspiration, feel free, try to. I'll let you know what it is after we finish the time lapse, but I think at this point we're going to go ahead and call watch what I got here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. And, oh, my boots got wet. My boots got wet. That should give you a little hint if you're watching other series on this channel. This is the Ender Island Cauldron, of course, based on Horizon Zero Dawn, the other game we're currently playing on the channel right now. I thought that was actually pretty neat. I'm not sure if we got to the cauldrons as far as you guys are concerned. I'm a little bit ahead of you. But you can see here how it all opens up how the hallway will kind of build itself around us as we're walking through it. I thought that was pretty neat. It gives us access to everything we need access to, you know, it gives us access to the dimensional stabilizer. It gives us access to our storage area, which is, as of yet, incomplete. I still need to get some green terracotta from Luna to kind of finish this up. But I thought since we finished up the redstone for the door and the hallway, I'd go ahead and show you my convoluted bit of redstone down here. Yes, this is how I do redstone in survival. It's a mess, okay? It is a huge mess. I'm aware of that. It could probably be shrunk down significantly given the time, but this is the simplest way to do it for me. I know it looks complicated. It's actually really not. It's very, very simple because everything's separated. Everything's easy to get to. All my timings are easily adjustable. If something goes wrong, I can figure out exactly which area it went wrong in. I guess I can kind of walk you guys through it real quick if you want. So this is where the button is. So the button would go this way. It would power this T flip-flop right here, which is basically a toggleable on-off switch, which then goes to an ABBA switch, which designates which circuit gets activated at what time. So A is our door. B is the stairs and the hallway behind it. So this is the B circuit, stairs and hallway, all that stuff. A circuit is located down here. That is the door, which opens. So we already activated it, which means we already did the A-B section of this. So when we close it, it's going to be B-A, okay? So B is going to be like all these pistons retracting, the stairs, all that stuff going back into place, the hallway getting kind of reconfigured a little tiny bit, and then finally the door closing. So you'll kind of be able to watch all that happen when you push the button here. So keep an eye on the stairs and the hall and all that stuff, then watch the door will happen just slightly after that. And if you're not interested in, you know, all the technical stuff, just know that a bunch of stuff is going to move around in here. It's going to do this, it's going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. So let's go ahead and push the button. You can see what I've been jabbering on about for the past couple minutes here. Stairs retract, doors close, and then we're done. We have a closed door. That is it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty much all improvised, so I am happy that this actually does work. But I do still need to go back to Luna, get some materials, kind of finish up here with the build itself, and then we need to start work on the actual island, which was supposed to be what we were working on this episode. So while I'm getting the rest of this kind of taken care of, one question that I'm asked a lot is where do I get the inspiration for a lot of the stuff I built here? Obviously, it's not like all out of my head. I'm not just coming up with this stuff. Like, I am inspired by stuff that's going on in my life. Games I'm playing, movies I'm watching, stuff like that. For instance, Wolfen's Laboratory, like if you haven't figured out what Wolfen's Laboratory is based on, it's based on Hawkins' Laboratory in Stranger Things. A lot of the stuff that's going on there with the netherworm and, you know, the breach in dimensions and stuff like that, a lot of that is based on Stranger Things. It's a show I really enjoy. And I like the storyline from it, so I've kind of incorporated that into my world. Same thing with this cauldron that we're building, basically. It's not actually cauldron, but the same thing with this. You know, I'm really enjoying Horizon Zero Dawn, so I want to make a little tribute to it in this world. And I mean, I think it's kind of cool to build stuff that is a tribute to something you're interested in, because it kind of puts a timestamp on the world. That might not be for everybody. But I enjoy looking back in a long-term world and seeing what I was, you know, things that kind of bring me back to something else. You know, it's fun. I think I enjoy it, at least. It might not be for everybody. All right, so that takes care of this. So, I mean, this doesn't have to be super pretty. It's just a work area, but it is all together now, and we can leave it alone. So let's go ahead. Oh, we do still need some steel doors right here. We need 2 more steel doors. So we'll probably end up... Oh my gosh, you scared me. All right, I'm probably gonna have to add some more lighting in here. I'm scared of mobs being in this area. We have some sensitive redstone down beneath this. So I don't know if this lighting is actually enough to be sufficient for this area. But steel doors first. And fortunately, just beneath our feet, we do have a stronghold. So the steel doors are in plentiful supply down here. Yep, there we go. Easy enough, right? All right, so now I think we can call the facility itself finished. We have all our steel doors in place. We have some sea lanterns under the carpets here to kind of prevent creepers from spawning and risking blowing up any sensitive material. So I think we are ready to move on now. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to sleep. We are definitely going to sleep. The next thing I want to do is start working on the exterior of the island here. And the first thing I want to do with regard to that is continue to work on the door, if that makes sense. We will have to be careful not to flood any of our redstone as we do this. We are working very close to the shore here. But the rest of the island should look natural. This area around the door, though, I do want it to stand out. This is the part of the island that's actually going to be, you know, usable and you're going to be able to do something with. So we're going to make this part stand out a little bit more. And we'll probably do this a couple times over for each various section of the door. So let me go ahead and take care of this. And that will give us an idea of what to expect from the rest of this place, hopefully. So let me explain that a little bit better. What this area is supposed to serve as is a transitional area where we're going from the natural world into this place, which is obviously man-made. So it's going to have some aspects of both, if that makes sense. And I also said we're going to be doing this a couple times over, once for each section of the door, which means we are going to be changing the size of our island here. And this is not the only place that we're going to change it. We're actually going to change it quite a bit in the coming however much time is left in this video. And you know what? We might as well go ahead and start figuring out the shape of our island right now. So I think what I'm going to do is go around this whole thing, kind of put some grass in here, kind of determine what the new shape is. And as far as the beachfront goes, I know it's not all going to be grass, like it's going to be sand too. So underneath that, we'll probably end up putting some stone right here to set some sand on top of, just temporarily, until we can actually get under here and build, you know, the bottom of the island, because it's not going to be like a floating disc sitting on top of the water. But we don't have a conduit over here. We don't have the time to do it right now. So we'll get some temporary solutions in here for the time being. And then maybe later on down the road, when we do some building under the sea, we'll come back and do some building under the sea. Oh my gosh. Do you see him? Look at it. He's coming at me like Jaws. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. There we go. Da-dun, da-dun. Ah! Okay. And then, of course, as we make our way around the back of the island to where the dimensional stabilizer is housed, we're going to have to extend our island to actually fit all of... Ow. Go away! Trying to discuss stuff with some people right now. All right. We're going to have to extend our island to actually fit all this within our island. And I'm going to kind of try to cut it as close as possible, make a cliff face or something like that, because this island is already huge. It's already big enough. And I want to try to have it done, as I said, before we enter the portal next episode. So we got our work cut out for us. All right, so the perimeter is drawn. Why don't you guys pop up here with me and we'll have a peek at it and see what the new perimeter of our island is going to look like. And we added a pretty significant amount of bulk to this. We're going to need to, because as I said, we're going to be building up pretty high. We're going to make this into kind of a more mountainous island, you know? Let's make sure we're crouched so we don't fall off this thing. But yeah, you can see we added a pretty significant amount of bulk to this. Which, as I said, is necessary, but it also adds a lot more work that we're going to need to do as well, because we're going to have it be more mountainous, kind of like this. So it's not going to look out of place. That's one thing I was worried about, but no, having this here, that automatically makes this more acceptable if we do add kind of sharp clip faces and stuff like that. So talking about sharp clip faces and mountainous areas and elevation, it's time to start figuring out what the vertical sections of our island are going to look like. And just like we did with the perimeter, the horizontal, we're just going to draw outlines to figure out the vertical as well. And I'm not going to do like a true wireframe. It's just every so often I'm going to go ahead and draw out what I think the shape of our cliff face or what our mountain is going to look like. And then we should be able to connect these up in a fairly natural way, so that way it doesn't actually look planned, since it won't be completely planned, you know? That's the idea anyway. So if we look back here, you can see how everything, like a dimensional stabilizer and all that stuff, should fit within the confines of the mountain, kind of like it's carved into the mountain itself. Now, we do have to have the mountain feel somewhat natural, so we need to bring it over here into this bit of land that actually does not have anything housed within it. So that way you can't really tell that, you know, the mountain was built solely to hide that thing in particular. Which means we're going to have to try to make this look as natural as possible, connecting to all the different areas of the island, and also house our doorway and all that stuff within it. So yeah, I'll figure that out. So coming at it from the other direction, you can kind of see how we're going to have the cliff jut out over top of where the doorway is. And that should help give the impression that this structure was carved into the mountain rather than built and then had the mountain built around it. Hopefully. We'll see. So then, of course, we're going to have to figure out a way to connect all our various areas up to each other in a way that's going to appear somewhat natural. I'm just really guessing at this point what I'm doing. Definitely not a science, or at least not the way I'm doing it. And because I don't want this to be our only mountainous area, we're going to add some more over here and kind of connect this up to that as well. And you know, I mean, I know this isn't helpful, me just telling you I don't really know what I'm doing, but this is, I want to show you guys what the actual process of doing this for me is. And it is just a lot of guessing and placing blocks and stuff like that, because one thing I've learned is that as long as I continue to place blocks, I'm making progress. If I stop and actually think about it, little gets done. So yeah, we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep rolling, man. We're going to keep rolling. And I should also clarify, I'm not saying that's the way to build. I'm not saying that just throwing blocks around randomly is the way to build. What I'm saying is that is what helps me, and it does involve a lot of error, like a lot of trial and error. Because as we build this, what you're going to see is me tearing down sections that I put blocks, and because they don't work. And that's just what's going to happen. It takes a while to actually do stuff this way, but when you don't have a plan, or if you don't like making plans, then they kind of have to develop as you go along. All right. Ow. So I think we have a pretty good idea of where our various peaks and stuff are going to be. I've also gone ahead and constructed a walkway right here, and we'll go ahead and walk around this. I'll show you the various scenic overlooks, I guess, various lookout points where you can actually are going to be able to get views from this, because that's something else I considered as I was building this, is like, you know, what the view is going to be like from up here, or, you know, if we go down this way, go to like this valley over here, what are we going to be able to see? You know, we can see the island, we can see the door to the cauldron or the entrance. We can also make our way up here to the very top of this, and that's going to be where we get our best views of, you know, the water, the water and this island over here. Yeah, I mean, I just want to be able to traverse this island as well. It's not just for looks, it's also going to be traversable. We'll add some neat little features and stuff here and there. But the little details and features are going to have to wait till probably the start of next episode, because I don't think we'll get them done this episode. That'll probably be like the last little bit of stuff we do before we enter the portal in 140. As far as what we're doing for the rest of this episode, we're going to be focusing on getting the big stuff done. We're going to be focusing on getting the general shape and basically all the terraforming of the island done, minus the landscaping, which means we're going to need a ton of stone. We're also going to need a ton of cobble, which we probably won't actually use this episode, but we will need a ton of cobble for next episode. We're going to also need a ton of grass, a ton of dirt, a ton of sand, and all those other blocks that we have in such abundance from tearing down other mountains. We're going to be using in this episode and in the next to make a mountain. Kind of a little odd when you think about it. I was just thinking about that, kind of a little odd. But that, I suppose, is the circle of life. Or the circle of mountains, or the circle of terraforming, circle of Minecraft. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I think at this point, we are ready. We have our wireframes built in. We have our outlines done. We're ready to actually start building. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and call Watchdog on over to Ender Island, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Didn't know there was a creeper there. I heard the skeleton. I was prepared to get shot at, but I wasn't prepared to get blown up. Wow. Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody. This area is obviously not safe yet. We'll make it safe next episode when we do the details and all that stuff. We'll add some more lighting and stuff around here, which is going to be necessary. But, yeah, we're done getting the basic outline, the basic shape of this island in now. And we'll go ahead and walk through it. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more easier to walk through, It's going to be easier to walk through once we actually do get our details and stuff in here, because we'll be able to put little transition steps in between these instead of having to jump all over the place. But, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, I mean, the guys over at Wolfen's Laboratory, they were telling me to stop stalling. They think I'm stalling for some reason. I don't want to go into the end. But all I really have to say to them is, you know, if you think you could do it better, then do this yourself. You know, make your own thing and do your own thing. This is me. I'm gonna do things how I want to, okay? And this has been a lot of work. This has been a lot of work. I'm trying to do something special for you guys, considering this is the end of phase 1 of Luna, as we've talked about. You know, this is a big project to kind of finish up phase 1 of Luna on, and overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, you can see it a lot better from Watch Dogs' perspective. It doesn't look good up close right now because, as I said, there's no details. But from afar, you can see how it's all going to start coming together eventually, hopefully, maybe, possibly. But yeah, I think as far as what we're doing today, this is probably going to be where we call it. So let's go ahead and close up shop for the day. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please feel free to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. If you want to see more, then please remember to subscribe. And of course, as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.